Hey guys, I just want to give you guys a quick update for tomorrow, July 1st, 2016. SB 5052 goes into final effect here in Washington State, known as the Cannabis Patient Protection Act. Though it doesn't quite protect most patients, the protection part of the bill requires more testing for the actual cannabis. It will require tracking of the lot numbers, kind of standardizes the process as it would in the recreational market. That is fantastic. I love that part of it. The problem is the state wanted to regulate it like they do the recreational side. In other words, they wanted their greedy hands into it. They didn't like people were going, that medical patients, those of us that actually need this as a medicine, were not paying taxes into it. And that was a problem for them. And the state did not like that. So, tomorrow, the medical marijuana shops will all be closing. The collective garden program will be ending. The current law that is currently in place will be repealed as of tomorrow. It was currently in place that would allow us cannabis patients to go into a shop. We provide a donation. We were not buying marijuana as medical patients. We were providing a donation to a collective garden of multiple cannabis patients. Within this law, there are many problems. One of them being that at this current point, there are no new licenses being presented by the state. The recreational shops have the option of attending additional training and being able to receive a medical marijuana endorsement that will allow them to receive to provide cannabis with certain tax benefits and in larger amounts, as well as enter a database. It is absolutely terrible. According to the state, it does not go against HIPAA violations, but you will be giving the state your medical issue. So when you go to your doctor, within this law, if you notice in this last year, you are required to see your doctor at least 2 times per year. So many providers are now only giving 9-month authorizations. You go and see them, they will then give you 3 months more. Or mine will give me 3 months, I go and see her, she then gives me the 9 more months. You are required by state law to see them 2 times per year, and they will now be required to enter it into a state database. When you go to your medical marijuana shop, you will be entered into that database. It is voluntary, but if you choose not to do it, you will fall just under the rules of recreational, but be protected in due process under the medical laws. So it just means you can only carry the 1 ounce versus the much larger amounts. The only collective gardens that will exist will be allowed for 4 patient maximums. They will be allowed up to 60 plants. One of the problems with this law is now medical marijuana patients will pay a 37% excise tax. That tax will apply to most of the marijuana. It will not apply to high CBD, though that is not directly defined with any of the laws, or apply to anything with less than 0.3% THC, mainly topicals. They have a couple other things in there that they will ultimately decide, but though the Department of Health has not made that final decision on. Basically, the 3rd item is defined as anything the state sees as medical necessary. A lot of people are assuming it's going to be edibles will be included in that, or certain types of edibles, certain types of plants. Basically, they want to move away as much as possible from smoking as a medical help to patients. And another problem with it is a delay within the database. So currently you pay you will receive a tax benefit. You won't have to pay the sales tax, which varies between 8 and about 10.5%, depending on where you are in the state. It just depends on what county and city you live in. Those sales tax numbers will vary slightly. But that's about what you're going to end up paying less than a recreational patient. A recreational patient is going to pay that 37% plus whatever the sales tax is. So 37 plus that 8 to 10%. You're just going to pay that 37% tax as a medical marijuana patient. absolutely sucks, drives me nuts. Well, what makes it really hard is when you live in a rural area, like I do. I live in unincorporated Pierce County. So until a couple hours ago, which we heard great news, I will get to that in just a couple minutes, or in just a few seconds actually, but until a couple hours ago, medical marijuana shops were banned in unincorporated Pierce County. Many of the cities had them banned. So from me, the nearest shop is about half an hour away. So it's not that close. I don't know what the prices are. I've never been there, and it can be a little frustrating. And so versus right now, medical shops, I have 5 that are about 7 minutes away, and they're all within one little shopping center. And they're very easily accessible. They're very competitive because they're competing with each other. So it's very frustrating for a lot of us. I'm probably saying frustrating a lot because it's exactly what it is. So within now I don't even know what I was saying. I promise I haven't smoked yet. I'm just frustrated by the whole situation. It's very annoying the way it's going to affect us. Well, voters in our county actually agreed with continuing the moratorium on the sale of recreational marijuana. But today, Pierce County Executive Pat McCarthy announced that she will be vetoing the extension on that ban, which was set to expire tonight. So tomorrow, the ordinance was going to be put into place that would have extended it. I don't know how long, but she actually will end up vetoing it by the end of the day. So that way tomorrow, they can begin the process of allowing the current shops. There are several individuals and businesses within Pierce County, Washington, which is the Southern Sound. This will allow for some of the people that have already applied and been accepted by the state and licensed by the state but have not been authorized to open up a business to now open up one and receive their medical marijuana endorsement. There is one additional plus to the medical marijuana law. They have now added 2 more conditions, PTSD and TBI, traumatic brain injury, to the list of qualifying conditions. I'm not going to name off all the conditions, but here are a list, so you can go ahead and look those over real quick. They tend to be a little broad. They allow a lot of room for up to the doctor's discretion. My doctor is pretty specific. She wants you to follow more of a plan. I agree. It's a very strict medicine for me. I treat it as though I would any of my other medications. For me, I will explain in the future that I use it for pain. So the last thing is that it does go over and allow for collective gardens for it's my dog, for up to 4 patient maximums for up to 60 plants if you live at least 15 miles from I-502 authorized dispensaries, which is the recreational marijuana law. So if you are at least 15 miles, which I believe I am, then you would qualify to team up with 3 other patients to form up to 3 other patients to form your own collective. I'm not sure if there are specific permitting processes in that or not. I would have to look that up. But I believe that is about it. Go ahead and leave comments if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to ask them. I have included some links below. Go ahead and look them up. I've included the link to the actual bill of SB 5052 from the state of Washington, from the legislature. This is very disappointing to me that they passed this in the first place. It is not a protection act. It is very naive to think so. This is definitely nothing but the state wanting to get their hands in the cookie jar. They want to be able to get their hands into more money that they did not have access from before. Also, if you are in a state that does have medical marijuana, does have recreational, or could be improving either of them, especially if you're in Washington state, contact your county executive, your county council member. I have included a link below of your where you can find out who your state legislator is if you are in the state of Washington. Also contact your congressperson. Let's try and get this ball moving just a little bit more. They've loosened up the rules just a little bit at the federal level to be to authorize just a little bit more research for it, and that is exactly what we need. We need to prove that there is enough research that this should be widely used for medicine in all 50 states, not just in the ones that think it's okay. So I did get some new glass in one of my new subscription boxes. You will see that in my next video. So I am not going to do a smoke session with that in this video. So sorry, no smoking in this one. I did have a little bit of edibles before this, but I don't think it's hit me yet. It's probably got a little bit. I'm kind of a hit and miss on how long they take. Sometimes they only take about 45 minutes. Sometimes they can take up to about 2 hours in me. It really all just depends. And I think a lot of people are that way. So either way, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, or if you have any feedback for me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Share this video with your friends, and go ahead and contact any of those that you can. Contact your legislator, contact the governor, contact your congressperson, your city council member, contact your county council member and your county executive. We often forget about people at those levels, and we just focus on these higher levels at during political season. We forget about our county levels and our city levels a lot of times. So let's not forget about them as well. I've included all the links you need below. Otherwise,